John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out. www.spreaker.com/show/best damn podcast. Also, guys, if you're watching here on YouTube, D Live, Periscope, Facebook Live, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Share this, get it out there. That way other people can see it, because that is the number one way to support. You can also support by going to the links in the description. And make sure, while you're hanging out in the description tonight, you also check out our guest and his Twitter, as well as the books that he has. He's got quite a few. And I believe I seen 4 of them there at this count. I'm joined tonight once again by Micah Dank. What's up, Micah?
Man,
How you doing, brother?
feeling good, man. It's late for both of us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Although I will have to say,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really mind doing late podcasts with people on the East Coast, because you're suffering with me. It's like there's so many podcasts on the West Coast, and they're all like go live at like 7 p.m., and that's normal for them, and it's 10 p.m. for me. So I resent the East Coasters less.
The very word secrecy is repugnant.
Hold on, guys.
In a free
I think I had
and
something
open
kick in
society.
here.
And we
Sorry about that, buddy. It was our show in the background. Yeah, no, I absolutely get it, man. Yeah, I'm a night owl myself, so I like to stay up late, but I know not everybody else is into that. But we got a really good show tonight for everyone at home. If you guys are watching here on YouTube and all the other platforms, let me go ahead and get this screen pulled out. Micah is going to discuss quite a few cool and interesting things with us tonight. If you remember the last time he was here, we went into astrology and its connection throughout the Bible. And I mean, he actually kicked ass, showing all the different connections and how they were really astrological signs. I mean, it was absolutely cool. So it was really just a no-brainer to have Micah back. Tonight we're going to be discussing Illuminati hand symbols and symbolism. So is there any way you want to kind of jump into this, Micah? Do you want to take the screen and take over? How do you want to do this?
Oh, it's fine. I just figured we'd do the hand symbols first because it's not a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a PowerPoint that I put together.
Awesome.
It goes a little deeper than what we did last time, and I thought for some new listeners that haven't heard me before, they might find it interesting.
Absolutely.
So I figured we'd do that. Just so for starters, I would ask you, do you know any hand symbols that you've seen that the Illuminati do?
Me, myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I pulled up a whole bunch of them in case we needed some, but yeah, I know some right off the top, like this one.
All right, we'll start with that one. This one right here, okay? They say that it's the OK sign, right? You see it like this over an eye.
Mm-hmm.
You see it like this, and they say that it's 6, 6, 6, right?
Yes.
That's what they say. Do you remember in the news when they tried to say that it was white power too?
Yeah, I have heard that, yes.
Remember that garbage nonsense? That's the psyop on the psyop. This goes back to this. Now watch what happens when I do this. Do you know what this hand symbol is?
No, I do not.
This is the Buddhist Om. This is the meditation.
Really?
That's what it goes back to. So what they do is they took this symbol. I'm trying to get it here. They took this symbol right here. When you're meditating, you're crossed, and it's like this. And then they just twisted it and made it this.
Wow. And you said that's the Buddhist symbol, Om, like as in when they're making the, and that comes from the occult too. Well, probably not from the occult. The occult probably jacked that from Eastern religion. But you're talking about the right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's for that symbol?
Yeah. There's plenty of things like that too. The swastika, for example, where do you think that goes back to?
What I know of the swastika and what it stands for outside of, the whole Nazi thing is it being representative, and this is in Masonry, of the four angles or the four winds, the four horsemen. And those four angles are what make up the supreme being or the whole, the Holy One, which is God. So what do you go ahead?
But where does it come from?
I'm not quite sure. Where does it come from?
So you would think that it comes from like Eastern traditions or Buddhist traditions or something of that nature.
Yeah, I would have guessed Hebrew or Egyptian.
Well, what it actually comes from is the swastika goes back to astrotheology, like I was talking before. You have the zodiac wheel, and then you have the solstices and the equinox that make a perfect cross through it. Okay?
Yes.
That's why you have to cross yourself. Okay? Because that's the cross of God's Son. And the swastika, if you take a picture of the Big Dipper, okay? And you take a picture of it on the solstices and the equinox, it forms a swastika.
Wow.
So that's where that comes from.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. And now you've seen how it's been. Do you think that they are, and let me just ask you a quick question. Do you think when someone is taking, say, a symbol like that, they know where it comes from and they're misusing it? Do you think they're trying to get that power from that constellation, that star?
They're trying to, every time, all these Illuminati hand symbols that we're going to go over, every time you see one of them, it's done by a celebrity that doesn't know where it's from. And the people who co-opted it, they don't even know where it's from half the time. They just know it represents this, therefore this. But the truth is that all these Illuminati hand symbols come from a very positive place.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think the whole enlightenment thing and illumination was meant to help mankind, and it's been taken over by people that use it for control.
Right. So there's this. Have you seen this one where the people are covering the eye?
Yes, I have.
Okay, do you know where that comes from?
No, I wouldn't know. No.
So they say that this represents the one eye, which is the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill in the back, the pyramid, the New World Order.
Yeah.
This goes back to the Eye of Horus. Have you ever seen the symbol for the Eye of Horus?
I've seen, Eye of Ra, Eye of Horus, and then Saturn's South Pole has one eye too. That's the all-seeing eye as well.
Right. It's the all-seeing eye. Well, Horus, what happens is if you take a sagittal cut of the human brain and then you open it up like this, right in the middle, you'll see the pineal gland.
Yes, I know.
It looks like a pine cone. It looks like an eyeball.
Yes.
And then above it, the ridge right here that you see, like the eyebrow ridge, that's the corpus callosum in the brain. And the Egyptians knew that. That's why they symbolized it as an eye. So the ancients knew about it. So covering the eye like this just goes back to Horus worship.
Yes, I'm going to show an image to the people at home. Yeah, see, guys, right here. Here's a picture of the brain. And there is the Eye of Horus right there. I can share the screen if you want me to, Micah. That way you can
sure, that's fine.
Yeah, here, let me share it. That way you can see what I'm showing them to here. There we go. Hold on, let me move us. Right there.
There it is, right there in the middle.
Yep.
So that ridge on top of that nipple-looking thing, I don't know where it just went.
Right here. Right there.
Right there. There's the corpus callosum, like I just said. There's the thalamus. There's the hypothalamus. But there's, right there, is the pineal gland. Does it say it? Does it have it? No, it doesn't. First of all, it's wrong. This is incorrect. You have to. The pineal gland is not even there. You have to get off this picture.
Yeah, this is only showing the pituitary. Don't even have pineal in it.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. I'm not surprised, though.
Right.
Just to be honest.
So here, right under that picture. Right there. I mean, to the right. No, to the left. That one.
All right, here.
That's it.
Let me pull this one up then. Boom.
This one. Okay, that nipple. That's the pineal. Right above it, numbers where it says 7, that's the corpus callosum. And boom, there's the eye of Horus on the left. They knew about this, the ancients. Mm-hmm. Now, what the pineal gland does is it releases melatonin as you're trying to fall asleep. When the sun goes down and it gets dark, your brain starts to release melatonin that regulates your sleep-wake cycle so that you fall asleep. You can take melatonin externally, but you don't want to take too much of it, otherwise it messes with your natural production. The thing is, is that your pineal gland also does one other thing, is that it creates something called DMT, which is produced in your pineal gland.
Dimethyltryptamine.
It produced in your brain twice in your life. The first time is when you're in heavy REM sleep that allows you to dream. And then the second time that it shows up, and only the second time when it shows up, is right before you die, your brain floods with it. There's your near-death experience right there, or your portal to another dimension, whatever you want to believe.
Wow. Yes, and there is a lot of people that don't know this, but like Michelangelo's picture where he's touching God's finger, it's a brain representing the pineal. In the Bible, it also has pineal in there as well.
In the Bible, Genesis 32:30, it says, and Jacob's called the place Peniel, for he saw God face to face and he was spared. Yeah. Peniel is just pineal.
Yes.
So he's talking about having an explosion, an experience.
Yes, and Christ says, if thine eye be single, then thy whole body be filled with light. And that's what he's referring to in my opinion, your third eye, or your pineal. The mark of God on their foreheads, when it's talking about in Revelation, it says that that they'll harm, burn up a third of the earth and all that. Says, and they will touch everyone but those who have the seal of God on their foreheads.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. You have to get rid of this. I don't mind it usually, but you have to. Yeah, thank you. Just get rid of the comments in there. It just takes up too much of my screen.
Boom.
All right, thank you. Now, are you familiar with this symbol?
Yeah. Here, let me go back to you and go big. Boom.
There we go. Beautiful. You familiar with this one?
Yes.
So you've seen it done like this or like this. This is supposed to be the pyramid.
I've also seen it like this.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, right? Was that Jim Carrey?
I've seen more than Jim Carrey, but yeah, Jim Carrey, I've seen it do it, yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically, Jay-Z does it. It's the Rock Nation.
Yes,
it's,
he does.
Right?
The Rock.
And, The Rock, yeah. And this is supposed to put a spell on you.
I didn't know that.
But have you ever seen this from Star Trek?
Yes, live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, that's right. And this, when you do it with both hands and connect it together like this is called the benediction. Okay? This is what the Israeli priests, the ancient Kohanim, used to do to their congregation to protect them. It's actually a blessing.
Really?
This is a blessing on the congregation. So this was perverted. They take this to mean that, Illuminati. This, I'm surprised they did that in one shot. This is the benediction. This is an ancient Jewish blessing. Wow. That's why Leonard Nimoy made this a symbol in Star Trek, to live long and prosper.
So you're saying that the whole Jay-Z where he does that that's a Luciferian thing, him inverting that?
Right. Well, Luciferian, as far as most people realize, my 6th book talks about Luciferianism and Satanism, and it's not what people think. It's really not. Even what the woke people who talk about the Luciferian signs and this and that and think they know what they're talking about, they don't. It goes much deeper than that.
I agree, but I mean, it's a balance, though. The whole Baphomet representing, both both ends of the spectrum. So that's what I mean. Do you think that that could be some type of Luciferian thing where he's taking, what was a positive, trying to balance it with the negative?
They're trying to do that. Well, actually, I would think that the celebrities that do that don't know what they're doing.
You know what? And I have a theory about this with celebrities too, bro, that whenever they sign their contracts, and I don't know how much like I do a lot with the like clavicle of Solomon, and it shows like these pacts with Lucifer and all these things, because we do a lot of occult stuff on here too. I have this theory that most of these people that sign the contracts, which these are just like pacts with entities, right? They don't know what they're doing, and that's why they end up getting themselves sacrificed at 21, at 27, or they lose the person they love the most because they're breaking these deals, these pacts that they have, by not fully understanding what it is that they're practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's reasonable. I wouldn't say it goes for everybody. There are some people that go through it. But so things like Lucifer, Satan, it's all astrotheology. None of it's real. There's just people who believe that the negativity is real. Mm-hmm. So Lucifer is a stand-in. So whenever they say that he's a Luciferian, Lucifer wasn't real. He's astrotheology, which we can go into if you wanted to, but like
Venus.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is. So yeah, these people are breaking their contracts, and what they're doing is, I think they get more in trouble by exposing like pedophilia and things like that of that nature. That's when they start to get in trouble. Mm-hmm. They have a long rope to hang themselves. Basically, they come out and they speak against a bunch of. There's certain topics you just can't touch or they'll kill you, but like other ones, it's different.
Well, I also think that sometimes that's part of the rituals they're playing on the masses. They're trying to get manifestation and co-creation out of the masses. They call it predictive programming or whatever, but in truth, it's really to get the masses to manifest an outcome that they desire.
Right. Well, it's all a revelation of the method, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and for those who don't know what that is, I'm assuming that there's got to be at least one who doesn't know what that is. Basically says that the elites are able, and the ones who really rule things, not like the puppets, presidents, and shit like that. The elites who really rule things, they are allowed to do what they want, but there's one rule. They have to tell you about it. Whether it's subliminally in subliminal messages in movies and music and such, whatever it is, or a newspaper that they push or article or something of that nature, they have to tell you. They have to tell you. And what that is because karma is the only true law in the nation. And
we just talked about this. I wanted to ask you, do you think that it's because of karma, or do you think that it's to actually get to ascribe guilt to the people that it's being done to?
No, it has to do with karma. Karma is the only true law in the universe.
Well, let me just point this out to you, though. If you in Hermetics, okay, in the occult, Hermeticism, there is no good or evil. It's just the same thing at different polarities. You see what I'm saying? Like it's both
right.
Like hot and cold. You can't decide where hot ends, cold begins. You can't decide where evil ends and good begins.
Well, Walter Russell talks about everything is just electromagnetism. Everything is either electric or magnetic.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is like the answer for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know?
Yes, it's all frequency, it's all vibration. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the 7 Hermetic principles, it's correspondence, rhythm, polarity. And I believe the elites, they know this. So they
what the third principle?
What's that?
The third Hermetic principle is? Do you remember the third Hermetic principle?
It's the universe is mind. I don't know them in order. Correspondence, rhythm.
It's the principle of vibration.
Vibration, yeah.
It's the principle of vibration. And 6,000 years later, string theory is only starting to catch up to the Hermetic wisdom.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you're familiar with this one, right? Everybody knows this one.
Oh yeah.
The devil horns,
Mm-hmm.
or the University of Texas Longhorns. Okay,
I was born in Texas.
Were you? Okay, so you see this a lot. This, excuse me. This actually goes back to something called the Apana Mudra, which is for purification. It purifies the individual physically from toxins, and it sheds negative energies that you might be holding.
What?
That's what this comes back to. You ever see the old Italian ladies? Or the Russian ladies even? That's what that comes from. The Italians, they have the Italian horn, which protects them from the Maloki. Okay? This was a protection thing. Okay? It was co-opted and perverted.
Wow. So they're pointing to you like a tuning fork or something?
Pretty much.
That is wild, man. I've never heard that.
This is actually not an evil sign. It's actually not. When it goes back to, none of the signs I've given you so far are actually evil. They're not. They've been co-opted and made to be evil. But they contain no evil purposes to it. The only reason people think it's evil is because it's been co-opted and shoved in your face.
Well, and the people using it have evil intentions.
Correct. But again, it just shows you that nothing comes from evil.
That's right.
In a sense, nothing comes from evil. They have to make it.
Yes.
You know, evil is as far as we know it in the universe, a human construct.
Yes. Absolutely. And I heard it put one way that like if you accidentally step on an ant or something like that, is that an evil act or just an accident? It's just a product of your size in comparison to that ant. The
Right.
same way with higher entities and entities outside of ourselves that are just doing what they were created to do.
Right.
They don't give a shit about us, and it's because we're that ant, to them.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't even comprehend.
Yes, and that God would be indifferent too, to good and evil.
Right. Absolutely. Have you seen this symbol?
Yes, and you can see that in Sacred Heart Jesus images and Baphomet.
It's actually like this. Baphomet, Lucifer, Satan, Jesus, Buddha. It's this. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is an ancient Kemetic peace sign. By Kemetic, I mean Egyptian.
Like Kim.
Kim, K-H-E-M.
Yeah.
Kim. This is an ancient Egyptian peace sign. This is an ancient British war sign. They've flipped the meaning on this. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the peace sign. So when you see these on statues of everything from Christ to Buddha to Baphomet to Baal to everything, it's just saying that it's peaceful.
I'm going to show an image to the people at home real fast. And here we go. Look at this. Sacred Heart Jesus. He'll always have the two fingers up, and he's got the Lucifer heart too, as well. Every time you'll see him two.
Go down to that picture right there. Click on that one.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, open that up. I'm going to explain this one to you.
Okay, no doubt. That's awesome. All right. I can make it bigger here.
Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, beautiful. So everyone can see this now, right?
Yes.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to partake. It's kind of my thing on podcast. I have like a mid-sesh smoke.
No problem. I smoke too. It's all good.
Here are the four things you'll see in every picture of Jesus. Okay. Number one, you'll see the cross and the sun behind his head. Not always the cross, but always the sun. It's because Jesus represents the sun. He's the Son of God.
Yes.
Okay? Then white Jesus, this white Jesus face that you see. Okay? That is actually the face of Caesar Borgia, who's from the Borgia Illuminati family. His father, Caesar Borgia's father, was Pope Alexander VI. Caesar Borgia was the bastard son of him. Before Caesar Borgia, there was absolutely no image of Jesus before. And it's not like Muhammad where you're not allowed to draw him. There just wasn't any image.
Wow.
What they did was they took him, they took his bastard son, and they made him the face of.
Wow.
Okay, so that's 2. Number 3, you'll see the crown of thorns around the heart, and the heart is always outside the body.
Yes.
Crown of thorns represents the rays of the sun. Okay, if you remember Jesus when he was killed, he had crowns of thorns around his head. That's the rays of the sun, because the sun has rays. The heart outside it. So there's 4 things. I went over 3 so far. The 4th thing is the toroidal field. The heart's outside the body, and it represents the torus field of the body. Each heart beats in you, sends out an electromagnetical, as we were talking about before, variance that has the ability to affect others within a 6-foot range around you. That's why the elites are trying to keep you 6 feet apart right now, to isolate your aura.
Wow.
That's what they're trying to do.
Wow.
So those are the 4 things. And if you look at any picture, if you look at that slideshow of the Jesuses we had before, you'll see it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I've always heard that, the whole targeted individual thing, that we have a ripple effect. I didn't know the exact distance, but yeah, our aura is outside of our body, and that
it's 6 feet. It's 6 feet, and it looks like a torus field.
I believe that. I think the Earth is a toroidal field.
The Earth is a toroidal field, absolutely.
Yeah.
And all the pyramids are based on the energy nodal points.
Yes.
Yes, they all line up to the energy nodal points, which is a science we've long lost. All the pyramids are now without capstones, and in my 2nd book, I address that. I talk about what happened to the capstones. Mind you, my books are fiction, but
I'm about to. I tell you what, man. Tonight after this show is over, I'm gonna buy 1 or 2 of your books, man. And do if you don't mind, I'll do a review or something.
I got no problem doing that. Listen. Text me afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll sign them. I'll send them to you. Buy them through me. Don't get them through Amazon.
I absolutely will. And I do want to point out one other thing here with Christ, guys. Him with this heart right here, that is a representation of Venus. Venus is a representation of love and light. I just want to point that out. And also the 2 fingers, another thing that the 2 fingers can represent is making the 2 become one, putting the 2 together. Right, the 2 become one.
It's when you blend your Christ consciousness to your soul.
That's right. That's why Jesus was crucified in the place of the skull, right?
Christ literally translates in Greek. It's Christos. Yes. Christ literally means oil. It's a sacred oil.
Anointing. Yes.
It's the anointment. It's an anointment. It's a sacred thing. Christ is a title. It's not a name.
Yes.
There's no Christ. I mean, there are people whose last name are Christ, but I mean, this is all astrology. This is all astrotheology. The marks on his hands, okay, where he was supposedly crucified, that too is incorrect. He wasn't crucified through his hands. If you tried to crucify someone through their hands and you put them up, I just had shoulder surgery, so I can't really lift my hands that high.
I had it.
Imagine that you're stretched out. Imagine that you're stretched out, okay? If I were to put nails through your hands, you would literally fall over and break a hole through the back of your hand. He was crucified through the wrists. The story of the wrists. Yes. That's where they were. So that whole picture is incorrect. There was no white Jesus. There was no Jesus, but there was no white Jesus.
And his name would actually be Joshua, if you translate.
Joshua ben Pandera, yeah.
Yes, it would be Joshua if you translated it into an English name, because there was no letter J back then at all.
The letter J came in 1584. It's the last letter. The letter Z came in before the letter J. The letter J was the last letter added to the alphabet.
Well, and when you look at John, who was the one at the cross, I got a Aramaic Bible, and he's Yakananan or Yakananan. So there's the different translations that we get all come from the Council of Nicaea, where they created the Gregorian calendar. Where they took the English language from Phoenicians. It's the whole word craft, the spell craft.
Well, in the Council of Nicaea that happened in 325, when supposedly what they said happened was Constantine unified everybody under Christianity. What he actually did was it was one of two things. Mm-hmm. Well, it was actually one thing for sure, is he unified it under a literal Christianity. So the original Christians were known as Helionostics, which if you break that down, that's Helionosis. That's the sun worshippers,
yes,
sun knowers,
yes,
sun knowers. And he was baptized on his deathbed. And so he really didn't have much of it. But he had a nephew named Julian the Apostate, whose works are still around. You can pick up his books and read them. And he tried to bring everyone back to sun worship after his uncle died, and he ended up getting killed in battle. Somebody from his side shot an arrow in his back.
Like Akhenaten got killed when he tried to bring the Egyptians to sun worship,
mm-hmm.
which I believe Akhenaten is Moses, in my opinion.
It's Tuthmosis. Tuthmosis is Moses.
I think Moses is Akhenaten. Have you ever read the Colburn Bible?
I have not, no.
If you read the Colburn, it was written on brass, pre-flood, and it has a story of Akhenaten, right? And how he was a young pharaoh, and he destroyed all their statues and their gods, tried to make them sun worship. They tried to kill him, and he ran into the desert, and the seas parted for him and everything.
Yeah. All these stories are taken. I mean, the Ten Commandments come from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, chapter 125. Mm-hmm. It's called the 12 Negative Confessions.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the flood, everything. It comes from ancient stuff. And, but the interesting thing, too, is listen to this. In the year 325 was the Council of Nicaea. But if you rewind the clock back a little bit, and you go to the year 100 AD, okay, there was something called the Council of Jamia. It was called the Senate of Jamia. And you literally don't even need to believe me on this. You could go to Google and type in Council of Jamia, Encyclopedia Britannica, and it's literally in there. Okay, they talk about it, even though the Catholic Church denies this to the day. What they did then was the Old Testament wasn't canonized at that point, at 100 AD. And what they did was they were trying to canonize it. They were basically trying to put the books in order because they weren't. The book of Job was actually written before Genesis. And they were trying to put, everything together. Now, that was in the year 100 AD. Now, in the year 70 AD, let me just see.
Right, it's right here, Council of Jamnia. I'm just pulling it up to show people at home.
Right.
Wow. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Can you see it on your screen,
I
Micah?
see this comment right here that says Moses went to Sinai to look for Akhenaten. I'm going to address that real quick.
Okay.
Moses went to Mount Sinai. Okay, the Jews were the people of Aries, the ram. That's why they blow the ram's horn to the sky. That's why they have the shank bone on the plate during Passover.
Aryan race.
Yeah. They were. So basically, Moses. Now the Egyptians were the people of Taurus. Okay, you could see a whole bunch of hieroglyphs of bulls with the sun between their horns. I mean, they're telling you they're worshiping the sun in Taurus. Okay, so Moses goes to the mountain to get the 10 Commandments. He comes down and he sees them worshiping something. Do you remember what it was?
A golden calf.
Exactly. So I'm going to pose you two theories. Number one, either these nomadic Jews had all this gold, pulled it together, found welding equipment in the desert, and built this giant animal to worship. Or the golden calf is a metaphor for the sun being in Taurus. They were worshiping the wrong time period. That's why Moses got mad, and he threw the 10 Commandments down, thus breaking the law. That's where you get the lawbreaker from.
Because they're in the Piscean age,
We're
right?
in Aries age, Arian.
Okay, okay.
Christians are the Pisceans.
Okay. Yeah, wow, that makes total sense to me, and I absolutely 100% agree.
That's why Moses went up there, and that's what happened with Moses when he came down. That's what he was mad about. See, we're in the age of Aquarius right now.
Yes, after the Great Conjunction.
Right. I mean, you're talking about the Pisceans, right? The Christians.
Mm-hmm.
The two fish is Pisces. Jesus fed the masses with two fish.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just so obvious. You have the Jesus fish, which is the center of the Vesica Pisces.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that Jesus is represented by Jupiter with the stripes he bore?
No, Jesus is the sun.
Jesus is the sun?
I do this. I don't think we're going to have time to do it today.
Yes.
But I have this whole presentation where I basically go line through the book of Matthew. And this is my own work, and I decoded it as far as astrotheology goes. So we'll have to set that up for another time. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
But if we go back to the signs real quick.
Okay, let's do that.
And we're talking about the signs. I got one more. Are you familiar with the upside down cross?
Yes, I am.
Now, isn't that supposed to be satanic or devil worshipping and things of that nature?
Yeah, because Peter crucified himself upside down because he wasn't worthy to be killed by Christ.
That's exactly it. I don't even need to say anything more. You got it. That's exactly it. It's a sign. It was a symbol of love, is what it was. All these are symbol of love. They've all been perverted by the elites, and at the end of the day, you can't take their true nature from them because they're all positive symbols. You can't do that.
And symbols are a representation of an energetic frequency or an archetype.
Exactly. Have you ever seen what 432 looks like?
No.
The harmonic frequency 432?
No, I have not.
Oh, you have to look it up. It's absolutely gorgeous.
What it
It's
looks
absolutely
like?
gorgeous. They changed the music frequency in the 50s.
Yes.
From 432 hertz to 440 hertz, which is a Discord. Yeah, you see. Yeah.
Discord. That's the app that most gamers and YouTubers use for their communities. Discord. 432 image.
You're gonna have to hit hertz. You're gonna have to type in hertz.
Oh, okay.
432 hertz. Look at that.
How symmetrical it is. Wow.
Wait. Go back. That one on the left.
This
right
one?
there. That's what I'm talking about. 432 is on the left and 440 is on the right. Look at the difference.
Wow. Have you ever seen the experiment by Dr. Miramoto? Where
You're talking about Miramoto is a doctor who would say nice things to water and it would...
Yes.
You would say mean things to water and it would ferment differently?
Yes. Absolutely, yeah. He was showing that we influence our physical environment, just by our intent and our words.
And you know what the funny thing, the thing about this is? There were some celebrities, some musicians who did try and continue to use 432 hertz. Tell me if you see a pattern in them. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain. Do you see a pattern with these?
Yes, and let me tell you one that tried to tell everyone that they were modifying the frequencies to make people mind controlled or to make them, messed up in their head was XXX Tentacion.
Yeah. Oh, he was brilliant.
Also dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched a video of him on his IG, and he was saying, "Y'all don't even know, the frequency. They're using the frequencies," and he went into the whole thing, and then just like the others.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I did not know that all of them were trying to use 432. Look at that, guys. Water, sound, image 432 on the left. Water, sound, image 440 on the right. And what we're at 440 now, Micah?
Yeah, we're steady in 440. Every time someone comes out in 432, they kill them if they get too big.
Wow. And that just shows you the distortion that they're trying to create through us. And, I talk about this all the time. That's why they make everything in the media so abstract and ugly. It's all to distort our frequency, to lower our vibration. I believe that, this is a soul trap and that they're trying to consume our energy, but, that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you see it. If you believe, if you think that this is some type of simulation,
anything that they can do to keep your vibration low. That's why religion works so well.
Yeah.
It's because it's the lowest form of spirituality. The lowest form of spirituality.
It's exoteric instead of esoteric.
And it makes people... Everybody believes because they are terrified of what happens after death. And they think that there's no real answers out there. There are. There are real answers out there. You have to look for them. There's nothing to be scared about.
No.
Even on I'll give you a hypothetical scenario. Okay?
All right.
Let's say everybody's wrong and there is nothing in the afterlife. And you're dead. Are you going to know that you're dead? Are you in the ground, buried alive, just sitting there rotting all eternity? No, you have no fucking clue what's going on. On the other chance, maybe there is something out there, Matter. Thermodynamics, right? Nothing can be created or destroyed.
That's right.
Right? Energy can't be created or destroyed, or matter can't.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So if you continue, then you continue, and nothing ever really happens to you. So either way, you don't have to worry about anything. And just thinking that you're going to go to church or a temple or a mosque and be saved, it's such population control.
And you know what? The religions, what they do the very best, they divide. They divide. Mm-hmm. And that was the fall. The fall was the division, the separation of us hearing ourselves, or us seeing ourselves, taking the spirit for vanity, taking it for our own. It's mm-hmm. absolutely insane. And all the religions, I do this, a lot of what I do, Micah, is, no matter what it is, I'll take every religion in the world and I'll show how they're all the same. They're all mm-hmm. saying the same thing. I'm not as good with the astrotheology and astrology as you are, but that has been where, where I've been led to. The more I get into this, it's got so many of the answers, and it's universal. It's universal. All of them.
The ancients knew this.
Yes.
Everybody from Atlantis to the ancients knew this. Even astrotheology, the symbolism of the 12 zodiacs, that goes. Let me tell you the beginning of that.
Okay.
Okay, this is where I've traced it back to. Have you heard of the Lascaux Caves in France?
What is it now?
The Lascaux Caves?
No, I have not.
Oh, you're going to love this. They found some caves in France, okay? And they went deep into them. And when they hit, when they got far enough in, they saw walls with animals, with drawings all over it. They saw bulls, they saw rams, they saw horses, they saw crabs, they saw everything, right?
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
So they saw that. You know what? Hold on, go back a sec.
Okay.
Wait, let me...
I was going to show the caves.
Yeah.
Right here?
There you go. Yeah. So you see the horse right there. You see the bull right there. They're all right there.
Wow.
And what they did was they brought in an astronomer and they rewound the star back. First they carbon dated this shit. And it came back 40,000 years old. And for those people, a lot of people don't believe in carbon dating. That's kind of half true. Carbon dating is only accurate up to 50,000 years. After 50,000 years, when you get to the hundreds of thousands or the millions of years, it is not accurate. But up to 50,000 years it is. So this came back, the stuff right here that you see on the screen came back 40,000 years old.
Wow.
So what they did was they brought an astronomer in and they were on the clocks back 40,000 years, right? Mm-hmm. They printed out what they saw in the sky. and they put it over the cave wall. And what they found was the fish were drawn, that's where Pisces was. Where the horse was drawn, that's where Sagittarius was. Where Aries was, where I'm not going to go on. Where Taurus was, they all were there. So 40,000 years ago, we had the science of astrology.